Casting time. We have a 2v2 match on Tibetan Plateau. We have Yuno and Darkie up against Warbringer and Tim. This will be an interesting match. It is Hierarchy Masari versus Novus Hierarchy. We've seen this oh so much recently, and we're going to see it even more now. It's an excellent matchup. It's always dynamic. It's very interesting. Let's see how this is going. Oh, they're going to switch their chat channels. Okay, brilliant. So, we've heard this matchup several times. We know how it's going to go. We know how the Matter Engines are going to go boom if the Walker gets on top. The question is, can the Masari team prevent that? What will their play be? Will they build anti-Mirabelle or anti-Hierarchy? Let's find out. Game will begin. So Darkie and Tim are less experienced players. Tim likes to go for weaker builds, but he's a solid player in most regards, and Darkie is of course leveling up massively as well. Warbringer is much more experienced than Yuno, but Yuno is a top player in Command and Conquer. So his skills have certainly transferred to Universe at War, and he can be considered one of the stronger players. Yuno and Warbringer are fairly even, probably Warbringer slightly stronger, and Darkie versus Tim is pretty even. But Yuno can definitely make some big things happen. So, for our early game, for Darkie, we see 2 Cliff Carvers built, Quad Reaper start, and for Tim, we see exactly the same, I think, unless this Reaper Cliff Carver doesn't start building another. We see a triple Reaper drone start this time, and we're looking at a slightly earlier Walker from Tim, presumably to maybe attack the Masari. On the Nova side, this is standard, looking like a Mirabelle rush. There's 1 extra constructor built. And down here we see the anti-Mirabelle base layout. It has to be done, you are close to the Mirabelle and far from the Hierarchy. I'm surprised to not see the early robotic assembly from Warbringer to catch these turrets early, but he is in a game with Masari and other Hierarchy, so the other team isn't rushing the capturables. He can afford to delay the robotic assembly a bit to get the Mirabelle. Something you can do as well is build the robotic assembly, get your own bots, and then sell it off, and then you can capture the turrets and the fuel pump without having to commit too much money. It'll just cost an extra 350, which is not bad. Oh, we do see the robotic assembly coming out now. Okay. So he is going to go for the captures now. Tim is now sat on 4 Reapers. So one of his Reapers was delayed, so he's a little bit behind on Eco. And for Darkie, we see 5 Reapers and a Glyph Carver moving northward. Very interesting. For Yuno, we have Disciples already out on the board aiming to capture things, and because Warbringer was slow, he's not going to get everything. That's unfortunate for him. Yuno is sat on 3 Matter Engines. And we're not seeing Mirabelle. We're seeing an anti-Matter tank rush. Interesting. So no Mirabelle rush against a Hierarchy. That's incredibly rare to see. We have the Machina coming out now for Yuno, so it will be standard Dark Masari. And we have the Walker coming down from Darkie right here. This is most interesting. Walker coming down for Tim as well. And Warbringer is... he has his backup flow gen. Usually these being so close together is not exactly the best, but Masari isn't the most aggro. And Warbringer's recently been struggling a bit with constructors being picked off by Figments. The base is not anti-Mirabelle yet. The gaps aren't closed, but there is no Mirabelle coming. And the lack of research may indicate to them that Mirabelle is not coming out just yet. Of course, she is coming out now, but it's a bit of a slower one. We have the vehicle assembly up already, but no antimatters. Very interesting. We're going to have a little fight over the pump here. We have 5 Reapers from Darkie with another Glyph Carver coming out to the east. We have the Monolith trying to slow down the Mirabelle being built. It does work, but it doesn't prevent it, of course. Tim finally has his assembly down, and Darkie's will shortly follow. Warbringer currently possesses the pump in the middle and 2 of the turrets, of course. Novus are faster, so they're going to get these turrets down, well, the capturables down a bit sooner. We have the 6th Reaper drone coming out from Darkie right this moment. And Yuno is actually winning the capture game, interestingly. Warbringer has not invested much into his own bots. Mirabel is on the move. Warbringer is sending Mirabel to back up his hierarchy buddy, interestingly. Maybe just to be as far away from potential figments as possible. She's going to see this walker and is going to get a nice snipe, of course. Mirabel? Mirabel? There we go. The antimatter bomb is building up, and Yuno is already teching Knowledge Vault 2 and is getting his 5th matter engine up. So we're going to see slightly faster Peacebringers. Well-positioned Reaper drone. This is quite safe from the laser turret. Tim has some phase tanks up already. A lot of phase tanks. That will fend off this walker with minimal issues. Not so many antimatter tanks for Warbringer yet. And it's very interesting that Yuno is the one controlling the center as Masari. That's very uncommon. Very uncommon. It seems like these own bots might be looking to turn that back around now. And we're operating on a 7 Reaper economy for Darkie and a 3 plus a 5 Reaper economy for Tim. Mirabel is, of course, supporting Tim against this walker. Mirabel being the anti-walker hero for certain. This turret will be getting captured back. But Yuno is really loving having this hydraulic pump. Max Eco coming out for Yuno. Oh dear. The matter engines are being upgraded. We see some Conquerors coming out to help fend off the potential antimatter tank attack. Figment's done on Mirabel. Is she dead? Is she dead? It's Dark 2. She gets away on 10%. Very nice. So close. Good stun from Yuno. And Mirabel can no longer back up Tim from this assault, but he's got a walker of his own in position and enough phase tanks to fight this off. We're seeing another walker coming down from Darkie. We're seeing multiple walkers being placed down and no units. This is a very interesting position from Darkie. I expect both of them to pincer attack the Nova space. On Yuno's side, we still don't see the upgraded Knowledge Vault for Peacebringers, but we do see 3 upgraded Matter Engines, so he's swarming Conquerors right now. Tim needs to spread his Glyph Carvers out a bit, because they're at risk of getting sniped, but he has a lot of antimatter tanks, and they could really bully Darkie's Reaper drones right now. We're going to see a 3rd walker coming down here. Own bots do scout this out. Will they hit the glyph? The glyph is hit, and it looks like it was sold. It's hard to tell. But the walker will not go down, and that's the most important thing. We have a Reaper drone coming to his Masari allies base. This is, of course, necessary. And we have some Figment harass on, presumably, Constructors. However, it's very difficult once the flow network is up because you stun the Constructors and they can still flow out, which is how you escape the Figment harass. Antimatter Assault comes in, but it's not enough. A bunch just die instantly. The switch to light mode for the damage and the range. Yeah, not a successful assault here, unfortunately, for Warbringer. And these walkers are getting kitted. Darkie has a lot of money, but he is going to lose his arrival site. Tim sees his opportunity, and he is doing excellent harassment. Warbringer has a nice flow network ready to back his teammate up, and we see the Science Center come down with the Singularity Compressor, so we're going to see the Black Hole come out soon. Yuno needs to be building his Zessus quickly in order to snipe that. As soon as they see that up, that's the play I expect to start coming out. More Constructors being built, so we know that they were harassed. And now this walker is going to be charging northward. Tim's harvesting up the corpses, which is quite nice. And, yeah, look at all these phase tanks. Darkie's backup arrival site has got to come down somewhere, but where? Where's the rival site going to go? 3 Reapers going down for Darkie, meaning Tim is now going to be benefiting from the superior eco. And Darkie doesn't have enough money to kit out all these walkers. Where is Mirabelle? There she is. I expect this Mirabelle to come over here to back up Tim once again and trade efficiently. And Warbringer's Black Hole should be coming out soon. He built the Singularity Compressor. Antimatter Assault did not do very much. In fact, look at all these corpses. And there's even Avengers still alive. That was not much of an assault. It didn't work out, unfortunately. 1 turret went down at some point, and so did the fuel pump. So Yuno is no longer benefiting from that. Darkie's phase tanks are going to get ganked here. Phases out, very nice. And this walker is banked onto facing the Nova space. Will this get caught? I don't think it will. This Disciple is just going to die. Gets a bit of chip damage, I guess. If this walker goes unnoticed, then that's really bad for Warbringer. Spectrum Cycle is up. Anti-Figment, of course. And this walker is going to get accidentally scouted by these phase tanks by the looks of it. Tim's got his production walker, and he did ping out this walker, it seems. So now this walker will be scouted. Warbringer has to answer this. He has a lot of antimatter tanks, and Yuno is operating on a lot of Conquerors. And there's a Zessus ready. Oh, he's gone for the Zessus before the Black Hole even. This is going to be a big... Oh, where's it going? Where's it going? Oh, he goes here. That's very interesting. Okay. But Zessus just dies for this. That was not the play, friend. That was not the play. Vent Core. Warbringer? Warbringer? That was a misplay on Warbringer's part. He could have easily killed Zessus and had Mirabelle escape there. So, hero trade, definitely Masari is the big benefactor of that. And it's distraction from this walker, but Tim is backing his buddy up. So, Darkie is desperately rebuilding. He has his arrival site now in Yuno's base. And Masari came out on top here. They lost all their units, but Mirabelle died, and that was a lot of army fought. And Yuno wants the pop space anyway for the Peace Bringers that will be hitting the board now. We have the super weapon coming out for Yuno, and we don't see the Black Hole yet from Warbringer, so this Singularity Compressor on the Science Center was just not valuable. The Black Hole is now being built, and Tim's building some turrets to protect that. It also has the added side effect of giving his Reapers a place to retreat to, and it's covering this excellent production walker. We have no aggressive aggressive walkers yet from Tim, but there's another walker assault incoming. Yuno's scouting ahead for his buddy, and Darkie sees that there's nothing here, so he changes the direction of his walker to go here, presumably. This walker was turned into a saucer production walker by the looks of it. Very strange. Reaper drone coming down. And Darkie has just been bullied away from his corner. Are the Peace Bringers out? Peace Bringers are finally out. I'm going to assume this is Dark 4, given that we are seeing the Matter Controller come down. If it's not Dark 4, it is soon to be Dark 4. Darkie has 4-5 Reapers, so he's still doing okay for eco. And as soon as this Matter Storm comes up, Darkie and Warbringer are going to know... Tim and Warbringer are going to know that they're on the clock a little bit. Tim's gone for his Radiation build. That's his preferred build. And now the Matter Storm is up. That 2.5-minute timer, 3-minute timer, sorry, is a ticking. Warbringer's going to see these Peace Bringers, and he's going to probably call it there. Unless this Black Hole wins the game, these Peace Bringers are going to decide it. Darkie has held the Novus and Hierarchy in place long enough for Yuno to build up. Yuno with a nice teleport play and some nice Figment play as well to secure his team's early game. Darkie is rebuilding his eco on Tim's doorstep, interestingly. This Walker is very much injured, but there's no Mirabelle to deal with them so easily now. And Darkie is definitely recovering. The black hole is up, and Yuno and Darkie do not know where this is. Do we see a Science Walker coming down? We do not. Peacebringers are knocking on Warbringer's command core. And with the command core going down, life gets much harder. Redirection turrets are excellent against Peacebringers, but it's not going to come up, it's going to get crushed. It gets crushed. The redirection turret does not come up. Darkie's come in to help, but this Walker is uncontested now, and this they're going to see this Singularity Compressor and be like, we can destroy this. This is big money. And there's the forfeit. Game was pretty much over. Honestly. The big black hole was the only chance they had, but it's an established Masari. Probably just wasn't going to happen. We have Kamal coming out, but the game's over. Good game. Good game. Masari Hierarchy hanging in there, and it worked out. Let's see what the players have to say.
Yeah.
Good game. Good game. We weren't able to crack them before the Dark Storm came up.
No, it's just in future I wouldn't like to play this map as Novus. I think it's a bit bad. Or at least that spawn. I think that spawn is really bad for Novus.
Why is it bad for Novus? Why is it bad for Novus?
I don't think that there is enough resources there to get Novus started and get them all they need.
Fair enough. I think Novus is quite good because of the capturables in the middle. I think Novus always gets those first, but...
That's true, but if the enemy spams more units and more stuff, I get out-captured, basically.
That shouldn't happen with Novus, though.
That's probably true. And also, I always have to watch for figments and...
That is true, yeah. Well, that was a good game. Do you guys want to play another, swap partners?
No, I would like to redo that game.
Redo the match? Alright, we'll have a run back then. Right. I want to see a good, dirty fight. Once again. Good luck. Casting time. Game 2. They wanted the run back. We're going to see the same teams. Different map. You probably heard from the end of the last one how Warbringer doesn't think that the previous map, Tibetan Plateau, is that good for Novus. I think it's fine for Novus, honestly. It's probably not the best Novus map, but they get the capturables first, and that's quite a big deal. That's a lot of area denial, a lot of map control. We're going to see the same teams and the same factions. Don't worry about seeing 2 lots of Wiry Sign, which is Tim. That's just a bug. He doesn't spawn with 2 rival sites. You'll see it in game. It just happens sometimes, but it doesn't affect the actual game. There we go. So as we see, Tim on the orange hierarchy spawns as normal. Doesn't matter. So, reprising the same roles. Darkie, yellow hierarchy. Yuno, light blue Masari. Tim, orange hierarchy, and Warbringer on the dark blue Novus on Eastern Europe. One big advantage for Novus on Eastern Europe is these materials factories. Novus already has the best production, and with these, yeah, Novus produces quick. However, I don't expect to see a fast robotic assembly. Oh, actually, I think we will, because he's got hierarchy spawning near him. So I think we're going to see the fast robotic assembly and get some own bots and fan them out. And then you can spare a couple to come and capture the materials factories. For Tim, we see the triple Walker start rather than the triple Reaper start, sorry, rather than the quad Reaper start. And for Yuno, we see the anti-Mirabelle build. For Darkie, we see quad Reaper start, so he will once again have slightly superior eco. Tim building his 4th Reaper drone late. You can do this exact same build, but get the glyph down sooner. As we see from Darkie, he's already got his 4 Reapers down, and Tim's 4th is only just coming down now. So Tim just losing out on a bit of potential speed there. The Reaper Micro is happening. although this one is AFK. We've got Darkie coming to take the instance. Even though Novus is his teammate, he will still want to collect the instance. That instant money is a much bigger payoff than the stealing your teammate's money. And against Masari, if you're starting to run out of money because someone took your instance, you're starting to run out of money because there's no money on the map. Tim's glyph carvers should be dotted around right now. One should certainly be moving north to his teammate's base. And from Yuno, we have the 4 matter engine plus machina here. Darkie is not microing his Reaper properly here. He's missing some instance. Just the one, actually. It's not too bad at all. And Tim is not looking for instance, so Darkie's early game is vastly superior right now. We have the very defensive assembly walker to stop it from getting sniped. This is going to be a production walker, for certain. And I expect to see Darkie... Oh, he's actually got a glyph carver in Yuno's base now. That's very interesting. This is the correct thing to do, but it's interesting he's done it so early. We have the scouting monolith ready. Probably going to teleport to here to see if Tim's building in the water. We have Mirabelle coming to deal with this aggressive Reaper. This was still a good Reaper drone. I said these guys are on the same team. They're not actually, so that makes this Reaper play even better. Mirabelle is... yeah, she's going to snipe the Reaper. That might kill. That does kill. Still a good Reaper. It got some instance, it got some scouting, and distracted Mirabelle. Fine Reaper. We see a walker placed on the cliff here. And Tim is probably going to go for phase tanks again. Yep, we see the phase tank pod and the cost optimizers. Warbringer does not see this assembly glyph, and we did not see the robotic assembly for scouting. Darkie now scouts Warbringer's base, being a bit frustrating, but nothing too special. Mirabelle is looking for Reapers and not finding any. She's going to Yuno's base to see if it's Sky Sari or not. And Tim is operating on a 5 Reaper economy. Warbringer sees that this is an anti-Mirabelle layout and will get stun on her. She's going to lose about half her health to this before she can run away. Light mode switch for even more damage. With this Figment spawning, actually, that could have been enough to kill her. And Mirabelle will survive on 23%. So she is out the game for a little while. She's going to have to run and lick her wounds. The walker does land from Darkie, and it's going to get the attack off. Oh, it must have been scouted at some point. No, it wasn't. Warbringer's going to see it now, and he's lucky to lose just antimatter tanks to scout this. Mirabelle is going to come here and snipe. And because she's wounded, she can't do that much to this walker. She can snipe, and that's about it. Darkie feeling confident. Tim's running over phase tanks to help his buddy out. If this is radiation, then they'll push off this assault quite handily. Yuno has a lot of turrets here. Wow, that's a lot of turrets. Turrets and Figments is Yuno's early game contribution. And the walker is going to be dealt with. The phase tanks are going to secure this defense. But Darkie has bought a lot of time. He's operating on 2, 3, 4, 5... Wait. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Reapers. Tim is operating on 2, 5, just 5 Reapers. Darkie's got the early eco to just sack this walker. And it might even crush a recycling center. We have Spectrum Cycle for the Figments, of course. That means we can see these Figments now from Yuno. And the walker will go down, but it will get a recycling center. This was a really nice walker. It killed a significant amount of units. It's destroyed the recycling center, and he's going to get the cell, and he's bought time. And the flow gen is going to go down. The backup is there, but it's going to cut off the power for this recycling center. This is a god tier walker, wow. Some monoliths coming in as well to focus down the flow gen. That's hilarious. Kind of want to see Yuno switch to light, just to poke down this flow gen. Science Center is being built, and... Oh, is he going to get this recycling center as well? He is, I think. He gets this recycling center as well. Another turret shot? Yeah, there is like... Wow, this Walker. This Walker paid itself off double or maybe even triple. No cell, though. That's bad. Novus is going to love hoovering that up. Darkie's building a defensive assembly walker and a detection drone, so we should see this science walker dropped near Yuno's base soon. Tim's got a lot of phase tanks, and I want to see some aggression out of him now. These monoliths were inconvenient, but ultimately did very little. Darkie losing 1,500 money there. And these Reapers are getting scouted, so Darkie's eco is going to take a small but significant hit. Yuno should be training Peacebringers right now. And they have no way to crack the base of Yuno right now. Warbringer and Tim should poke Darkie down and try and turn this into a mostly 2v1. The detection drone drops. Are we seeing the Science Walker?
The enemy has advanced their technology.
I think Darkie will have a glyph carver in Tim's base somewhere. He does not. Okay. Darkie doesn't have glyph carvers. He's got one. They have the opportunity to eliminate Darkie from the game right now. Oh, there's a glyph carver coming out here to run away. But Darkie's Reaper drones are now getting systematically picked off. Where is our Mirabelle? I don't see her. She may have died. We have Corruptors in. We're going to see Vertigo for viral control. Warbringer's making a half-hearted assault here, but it will not pay off. The Spitter turret plus Walker will make sure of that. Where is Mirabelle? I feel like Mirabelle must have died. There is no Mirabelle on the board. She must be dead. That makes that attack even worse for Warbringer and Tim. Map controller coming down, and that clock is going to start ticking. A lot of phase tanks, though. Yuno is not ready for all these phase tanks, but the turrets are going to buy enough time for the Peacebringers to come out, and they will mop them up. These antimatters are doing significant damage to the arrival site, which is very nice. Another walker coming down in the center, so no science walker. And they're all inning on Yuno. They've realized that this needs to happen before the map controller comes up, and comes up it does. Warbringer has nothing. He's got 2 recycling centers here, a 3rd one here, 4th one here. So he has got recycling centers, but he's got no tech. This attack has to work out. We have to see the chain reaction. GTFO. Where's that seer? Tim is not destined for greatness. It is Darkie who is destined for greatness. Darkie now has phase tanks of his own to attack Warbringer's base. If this attack fails, it's once again game over. There's no anti-air for the Corruptors. And the Machina's going down from Tim. This is a very nice attack from Tim. Brilliant. If this Machina goes down before more Peacebringers come out, then Yuno will be out the game. He did not build in his teammate's base. We have the radiation coming out from Tim, which is actually perfect here because he makes these little slaves, which do significant damage. Slaves should not be underrated. Oh, this matter engine's going to blow up. Can he get it in time? Oh, the cell. The cell. Very nice. I want to see him focus down the Machina right now. Darkie's phase tanks have been mopped up by the looks of it from field inverters. And suddenly it's looking really good for Warbringer and Tim. This Peacebringer is not Dark 4. It is not Dark 4. So this super weapon will not be that strong even if it goes off. Oh, nice abduct from Darkie. Hits 2 or 3 phase tanks, which will wall off this assault. Put up a barrier to protect your teammate's Peacebringer, maybe? He does. Excellent. Now this Peacebringer will regen its Dark Matter Armor, and Dark Matter Armor value is half of a normal unit, but there are certain weapons that do more damage to Dark Matter Armor, so you can see it as 40% of a unit or so. I want to see Altea come out from Yuno, and he switched to light mode, which will reset his super weapon cooldown. Not the biggest deal, because it is a weaker super weapon. It is not Tech 4 yet. And we see 2 walkers from Darkie starting to make a counter-assault. Warbringer has a lot of field inverters here, and it's going to deal with this production walker quite handily. It will not see the Reapers migrating south. And Kamal defending Masari, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that's terrifying. That's just terrifying, man. He's only operating on 1 Machina, and Tim is poised to strike like a Viper. We have a detection drone coming out from Tim. And Darkie could use detection drone pulses to get rid of Virus for Yuno, but he is not. This Peacebringer that was saved by the Kamal earlier is looking quite healthy now. And if we see balance too, this Peacebringer could be rebuilt. Oh, is the Matter Engine going to go down? Not the biggest deal. It's not going to do as much damage, but it will hurt. It will hit an Architect. And it gets sold. Tim did not commit, and Abduct hits his teammate's Peacebringer. That's still a fine Abduct. That will generate money for Darkie. He's a bit upset, but that was a fine Abduct. That was not a bad Abduct. It was okay. Not the end of the world. It makes money for your Hierarchy player, which is important to note. As a Masari player, it's okay if one of your 2 units gets caught. That's fine. And now Darkie's walkers are going to make the assault. Warbringer is bullying Darkie's base. And Yuno needs more time to restabilize. Tim is left to his own devices here, and he's got a walker marching up to Yuno's base. This is interesting. And this Kamal is going to be so instrumental in fending off Tim's attack. He's getting focused. He's going to have an Abduct and a Barrier very soon. Barrier's back up. Abduct has about a minute cooldown, so it's probably down for another 20 seconds or so. We now see Dark 4. Dark 4 deals well with the radiation. And Darkie is fighting to keep all his stuff up. He's going to need to back up a rival site soon. Darkie needs to contribute as much as possible before he dies. It's only a matter of time, I think. Tim's building another assembly walker. And it's actually his production walker that's being repurposed for combat. This is most interesting. Kamal carrying here? Yes. Yes, Darkie's Kamal play has been very good. The Abduct wasn't perfect, but it was still very good. It's very good Kamal play. And these walkers are going to devastate Warbringer. If Yuno does not die here, then Warbringer's out the game. He can rebuild towards Tim's base, but they have to kill Yuno in exchange and turn it into a 2v1. And then Tim can bodyguard for Warbringer whilst he rebuilds. This is so close. Another excellent barrier. This Kamal, man. This Kamal, MVP. And Tim now has to play around this Abduct. Meanwhile, down here, the Assembly Walker is getting destroyed. Singularity Compressor. Are we seeing the black hole being built? Was the black hole built before that got destroyed? It was not. So that's a big chunk of money once again. And Warbringer, the consistent error is getting this black hole potential and not building it. Dark Matter Storm is up, and it's targeted right here. This is the correct Dark Storm. I apologize for my phone. But that's the correct Dark Storm. It buys time for the Walker to be beaten up. It takes out the phase tanks. And now you know you just need to be on the defensive. Walker goes down, but there's another entire healthy kitted Walker here. Kamal's safely and tucked away at the back here, because he doesn't contribute much to killing a Walker. He does well in Walker-on-Walker engagements, but he does not deal with the Walker well inherently. He can only hit the legs, so kind of awkward. This skirmisher portal needs to be repaired, because if you lose that, you lose your ability to build machinas. No Quantum 3, nope, it's Radiation 3 here. The EMP is so nearly built for Warbringer, oh dear. Warbringer's desperately rebuilding down here. He's got another science center. But Yuno is slowly becoming established again. He's still only operating on 2 matter engines, though. And we need to see balance too to revive these Avengers. That's very eco-efficient right now. And we see 2 assemblies coming down from Darkie. Defensive walkers, because there's no super weapons on the enemy side. And Darkie knows that Yuno is his win condition. Yep, Yuno is correct. Kamal really hard carried. This assembly walker goes down with a cell. With the cell. That's really nice for Darkie. And if Darkie gets re-established, then this is going to be game over very soon. We see 5 matter engines now for Yuno. He's successfully rebuilt. He's got matter sifters on all of them, so I missed these getting built actually, my bad. This is game for Warbringer and Tim. They don't have the power to fight the Dark Four. They just don't. Darkie is re-established. He's making a production walker for phase tanks, and this is going to be a combat walker is my anticipation. Yuno prioritizing taking Tim out of the game, because he's closest, makes sense. Warbringer is clambering to rebuild. He needs another flow gen up here. Partly to fit in this recycling center, but also to get this EMP going as well. And Tim's Reapers are going down, and his eco is going to start draining away very quickly. Dark 4 Peacebringers are going to chew through these phase tanks like no tomorrow. Tim phases away. There's nothing. This will be a simple cleanup operation for Yuno and Darkie. And MVP, this guy. The Abductor himself, the guy on the box art, this guy, Kamal Rex. These Peacebringers will die, but they'll get a lot done before they do so. And Tim is just out the game now, pretty much. There's nothing. Seeing the 4th Machina come up for Yuno, Jesus Christ. Warbringer has a good army, but he's got to walk through a walker to get there. And this one is kitted out for half production, half combat. I like it. I quite like that. The Beastbringers will die, but they did a very nice assault, and Yuno just wants the pop space to build more. I would like to see Zessus come out now. And this really feels like one last hurrah from Warbringer. There's 5 Machinas on the side of Masari. Darkie is re-establishing in another sneaky spot, and his detection drone is just untouched. Matterstorm is ready. And there it goes. That's going to be game. No way to flow out. Nope, bubble doesn't work. Bubble does work? Surely not. Really? No, they died. He sold them. He sold them. He bubbled and sold them. The sell is instant when they're in shield mode. Very smart. But forward Guardians, yeah. Come on, bullying away these field inverters. We have a combat walker and a half combat, half production walker. Forfeit. Yep. That is a perfectly valid forfeit. The game is over. 5 Machinas. Yuno's at the point where he's building Guardians for scouting. That's a good game. So close! They were so close to cracking Yuno. And it just wasn't enough. It just was not enough. Well played from Yuno and Darkie. MVP, Darkie's Kamal. 100%. 100%. Let's see what the players have to say.
Good games anymore.
Good game. Darkie's Kamal was the MVP.
Fucking Kamal.
It was.
What a good Kamal.
It was the MVP for sure.
Underscore said, I love Kamal XD.
It was good micro from Yuno as well, purposefully moving his Peacebringers in front of Kamal.
Yeah.
So he didn't fucking die.
Yep. It was just that was the MVP. Just kept Yuno in the game and able to turn it around.
Like the fucking Peacebringer's body blocked him, so I couldn't shoot at him.
Yep. That's good stuff. The only thing that I think Yuno could have really done better there was to rebuild Avengers from Balance 2.